Challenge your comfort zone. Don't let fear build a cage around your dreams. Seek out the unfamiliar, explore, and let curiosity rewrite your comfort zone. Befriend failure. It's not a detour, it's a detour sign. Learn from every misstep. Embrace the stumbles and let them refine your path. Reframe your thinking. Don't have to, choose get to. Flip the script on negativity. Turn obligations into opportunities to fuel your fire. Challenge your comfort zone.
I can completely agree with that. That is a good way of looking at things. And that's what we're going to talk about today on the Willpower We All Invest podcast. Uh, we're going to be talking about empowering mindset shifts from obligations to opportunities. In just 1 second. Okay, so once again, I'm back, and I wanted to talk about just empowering mindset shifts. This is a big opportunity now to kind of go into 2024 with a new mindset. And you might have had a mindset last year that might have held you back and wasn't allowing you to get to where you wanted to be. But we're gonna get past that together. My name is Al. This is the Willpower We All Invest podcast. You can catch me on IG at Willpower to Live and address by Al. And what I'm doing today is we are motivating each other. This is a time where, you know, you're not just watching the news and TV shows for motivation. We are a community of creators and just users of social media. Um, and so I want to get into the quotes, and I also want to break them down with a few questions, personal questions, and go from there. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get to that first part of the quote. It said, "Challenge your comfort zone. Don't let fear build a cage around your dreams. Seek out the unfamiliar, explore, and let curiosity rewrite your comfort zone." Let that sink in real quick. Rewrite your comfort zone. We're so stuck in this zone where we don't want to learn our way out of it, and we don't want to um, fight ourselves out of it. And now's the perfect opportunity. I have a few questions that were asked to me about that I compiled here. And first question is, can you share a time when you stepped out of your comfort zone, faced your fears, and pursued a dream or goal that seemed daunting at first? I can honestly say that going to the military was absolutely something that I never thought I was going to do. I remember when I was younger, I was like, I don't have to go to the military. I don't. That's not necessary for me. Um, but then I kind of looked at the bigger picture, and in the bigger picture, you you don't really necessarily focus on what you need to do so much to get to where you want to be. You just kind of do what you need to do. And there's a big issue where people are talking themselves out of what they need to do because they say, oh, well, I can't do this, or what would this look like, or what would people say? And you kind of forget that this is you living your life, and you have a set amount of time to make a difference. And I know it's nice having things that take your time, like uh, social media and watching TV and enjoying something, but those things are just procrastination tools. So what are you going to use as your tool to get to where you want to be and need to be? And so when I stepped out of my comfort zone, I called it stop being hard headed, and just kind of um, just said, whatever comes, comes. I'm going to prepare myself for it. And I got myself in a mind state where I would just work out, not just like work out physically, but like work out my mind and my body and my spirit, and would do things such as read, research, do exercises, and just kind of push myself mentally to be the person that I wanted to be. So it's not easy because we are all stuck in a comfort zone in reality, in some way, shape, or form. And just even getting out of the bed that's a comfort zone. And I know a lot of people, I know they say, oh, it's hard to get out of the bed because their alarm's going off and they want to sleep in a little later. But in reality, you have to think about it. That is a comfort zone. That's the first comfort zone of the day. And if you can get up, then you can break through any other comfort zones. I feel like they're mental comfort zones. And I mean, I guess that's what a comfort zone is, anyways. Is something very mental, and you have to realize you got something that is more important to you than staying where you are, and that's how I did it. I just kind of started pushing myself, and then got to that point. I think preparation comes first, and then you step to that comfort zone, and you that barrier of that comfort zone, and you just step out of it. Next question. How do you personally approach overcoming fear and pushing your boundaries to explore new experiences and opportunities? Like I said before, I really just prepare myself. Um, Sometimes you don't have time for preparation, but that's why they say the saying goes, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So every day is a training of sorts to get my mind and my body and my spirit in shape. So that way when it's time to go, I'm ready to go. And that's how I approach overcoming fear and pushing my boundaries, is just by just mental training, physical training every day. And I know it's not always going to go the way I want. And there's going to be days where I feel like it's just not working. And I feel those days, and it hurts physically, mentally, it hurts. But you have to get your mind in a state where you are constantly learning new things, because when you learn new things, you are going to have to deal with the pain of growing. And then once you realize that you can do it, it's kind of like, okay, well, on to the next thing. It's time to go. So let's go. Next question. What advice would you give to someone who wants to challenge their comfort zone but is hesitant due to fear of uncertainty? Um, Once again, train your mind to get ready for new things. Read new books. Not just sit there and watch TV because you're sitting on the same couch. Get out and meet new people. Um, Meet people online, you know, and try to have a conversation with someone that you're not sure what they're going to say or what they're going to do. It's cool having the same friends. However, when you have yourself in the same situation so much, it's just like when you're working out and you're able to lift a certain amount, but after you lift that certain amount so many times, your body gets used to it, and then it doesn't improve from lifting that amount. So learning new things, taking on new skills, taking on new hobbies and habits, things like that will get your mind in the state of growth. And that's how you get out of that comfort zone, small bit by bit. Is just step by step, taking it a day by day, and eventually you'll get out of it, and you'll be proud of yourself and ready to take on new comfort zone boundaries and new things that you weren't before. So the next quote was, befriend failure. It's not a detour. It's a detour sign. Learn from every misstep, embrace the stumbles, and let them refine your path. Because there's no such thing as losses as long as you learned your lessons. So instead of taking losses, let's just learn lessons. And that goes with the um, you're learning something new every day, and that loss is a lesson, so you learn from it, and therefore it didn't hurt you at all. It builds you up even more. You're stronger now. First question after this one is, how has failure or a misstep in your life ultimately led to personal growth or a positive change in your path or perspective? And I mean, like I said before, it was a lesson. Now, don't get me wrong, I have had to learn the same lesson sometimes more than once. And yeah, that sucks. That's not cool. I hate it. And once you learn that lesson so many times and you know what the outcome is of it, you got to grow past it, because you have to feel that pain in order to grow sometimes. And that's how I grew, from feeling that pain and deciding I don't want to feel that pain anymore. Let's keep going. Let's grow past this, because I'm tired of it. And some people don't even like they don't have to go through it once or twice. Some people have to go through it 5, 6 times before they kind of look around like, oh man, I'm tired of this. And I'm not like that with everything, but there are some things that I have to learn my lesson over and over again until I actually finally get it. Um, Failure has absolutely been my friend, more so than success, because you can succeed and it doesn't really stick in your head as much as that failure. That failure is going to stick in your head, and you're going to remember what it was that you felt that pain from. And it's almost like how you are when you were a kid. Some parents like to pop your hand or something like that if you made a mistake, and that pain of that hand pop makes you remember, whoa, I don't want that to happen again. And that's something that you really don't want to experience, so you just learn as fast as possible from it, almost like you really to ask questions. And hey, what did I do? What's going on? That hurt. What do I got to do for that not to happen again? And the part about life is that life doesn't really answer those questions sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta be more observant and and understanding, and maybe do your research on why. So, next question: what strategies or mindset shifts do you employ to embrace failure and see it as a valuable learning opportunity rather than a setback? Like I said, it's a lesson, not a loss. And that's my mindset. So I see it, it hurt, I embrace it. If it hurt, I embrace it. And that's the best way to kind of look at it. Like, did that hurt? Did I feel that? Did I not like that? Did my ego take a blow there? That must mean that I need to learn something from that. Kind of step back, sit down, you know, um, maybe meditate on it, think about it, reflect on it. That's a great thing. You got to take at least some time to reflect. But I look at it like that: is if it hurt, then that means I need to ultimately sit down and figure out what was it that made it hurt. And so that way it doesn't happen again, and I can learn from it, move forward, because there's so many opportunities and lessons and people in this world. This world is vast, with so many different learning opportunities and experiences, that I don't think that we should get so caught up on small ones. If you get caught up on a small one, that's the problem. If you get caught up on a small lesson, that's your issue, and you need to learn how to have more of an open mind and realize that you have so much more to learn, and you have a lot to accomplish. You know, and I mean, we are all geniuses in one way or another, but you have to find your genius, and maybe it's not where you want it to be at, but then you have to kind of channel it and tune into it a little bit more, almost like before. I don't know if you guys even use radios anymore, but when um when I used to use a little small hand radio when I was a kid, you had to kind of like choose, use the dial um to be able to like tune in past the static, and it might quiet out, and then you start to hear a voice or some music. And that's just like what it is, man. You have to tune in to try and find what it is that makes you who you are and what you're going to get out of this life. So, next question. Can you share an example of a time when you initially viewed a failure as a detour, but eventually realized it was a detour sign that guided you towards a better path? Um, yeah, I guess I could do that. So many of them, so many. Let me see. Wow, that made me think for a second. All right, so a failure. Hmm. College. College was um something that I feel like at this moment really wasn't necessary for me, because everything that I can do in college then I can do now with my phone. We had these big computers, and I went for graphic design in Charlotte, and uh the things that we were learning were great things. However, years later, I realized that it did help me with navigating um, graphic design programs on the phone and things like that. I can edit really good, like innately. Just it's just in my mind. I can just do it. I can imagine it and I can see it. But at the time, I thought, man, like where am I going to use this at? How am I going to use this? This isn't what I really want to do. And I went through my experience, and came out feeling like I might have wasted my time. But now that the world is pretty much based around being able to navigate on the phone and being able to edit, I edit my videos. I'm able to do, all these things without having to pay anybody to do it. And I'm appreciative of that time that I kind of didn't have what I have at my disposal now. So now I'm on a better path. I'm able to create and put out good information to people, and not even have to put so much effort towards it. And now I'm going to use that to try and grow myself um on social media and on different platforms that you have to be able to have those skills on. And I'm really happy about it. So definitely was a time where you just don't know at first what you're doing or where you're going sometimes, because I was a kid. And now that I know what I know, it's eye opening. So definitely something that brought me on a better path, and I'm happy and definitely excited to see where it leads me. So for the last quote here, it is: reframe your thinking. Don't have to choose, get to. Flip the script on negativity. Turn obligations into opportunities and fuel your fire. So basically, it's saying don't feel like it's necessary to do something. Just one thing. Focus on one thing at the beginning of the race. Choose further down the line. How am I going to get to something? And that thing that you feel like you have to do will be a skill that you acquired, and no longer be something that you view as negative, but something that you view as a positive in your life, just like my college experience. And you turn those things that you feel like you're supposed to do, these obligations, into an opportunity to get you where you need to do, where you get you where you need to be, um, get you that rocket fuel to boost that rocket, wherever you need to go in outer space, and go further than that. So questions on that here is, can you think of a situation or task that you initially saw as an obligation or something that you had to do, but then reframed it as an opportunity or something you got to do? That's another good one. I think that work. A lot of jobs I've had, I felt like I had to do them. But knowing what I know now, they all just gave me skills in different avenues and areas, so that way I'd be able to manage businesses, manage money, manage people, manage my time on my own without having to have somebody else do it. I think I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I don't think you can really be a like a really, I mean, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that haven't had jobs, so I can't even say that. But personally, I think that my life experience, I needed to go through having jobs and see what it was like, um from the inside out, and kind of grow from there. Um just so many jobs that I've had in the past where you have to kind of know the structure and understand it from A to Z. And of course, being an entrepreneur is still kind of like you are working for yourself, and you do get raises. Um you do get to a point where you get pay increases because of your work is so good and your work ethic is great. It's just that you don't get a pat on the back. You actually get it as a actual raise and money that you see coming in, and it gives you more time to be able to do certain things. And it gives you uh experience to share with other people that's in your field. And I um I can honestly say that I'm happy that I've worked all those jobs and had all those different bosses, and was able to see from that perspective, so that way I could share it with people that ask why would I want to be an entrepreneur, and I can tell you. And I can also say that it's not, like I said, it's not really different from having a job in terms of growth. It's just that you don't have anybody over your shoulder, or somebody that you need to answer to. It's all on you. And I like that no ceiling effect, because there's that means the sky's the limit. You can do as much work or little work as you want to, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do as much work as we can, and now it's something that I was happy I got to do, instead of having to wake up and go to a job. So next question is, what strategies or techniques do you use to consciously choose a positive mindset and reframe negative thoughts or obligations into opportunities? I think a good strategy that I use is, like I said, I just um, keep healthy. Like, I eat right and I work out, like, so that way I can say, hey, I'm good to myself. So there's no reason to be negative about anything, because I'm working on myself every day. And so if there's something that I feel like I can't do, then I'm just like, yo, look, you can do it because you do this every day. This is something that you do. And I get good at things. And when I find out, there's things that I'm not good at, but when I work on it and I become better at it, I'm able to say overcome a challenge. Then now I can say, okay, well, I overcame that. So there's no reason to be down about not being able to do something at this moment. It's just going to take, some work, and you'll get there. You'll be okay. It's just take it one day at a time. And that's the crazy thing about it, is because we are very instantaneous creatures. We want things now. And I can honestly say I'm the same way. When I want something, I want it now. And if you realize that something might not have even taken as long as you thought it would, or um, it might not have taken as little time as you thought it would, but you actually end up getting there. So what we're gonna do is, focus on our betterment, focus on being the best version of ourselves, and you will actually see a difference in other things, other tasks that you take on. Next question. Can you share an example of a time when you successfully flipped the script on negativity and turned a seemingly mundane or obligatory task into a source of inspiration and motivation? Um, wow, that's a good time. That's a good idea. A good question. I think when I went to go buy a house, I really did want to buy a house because I felt like it was such a big and huge decision in my life. But I felt like I needed to, and I didn't feel happy about it, because it just seemed like it was just going to be. And I hate moving too, and it just seemed like there were so many houses to look at, and it just felt like an extra job to go find a house and look around. But what I did was I kind of just used my ability to um, make good relationships with people, and met a nice realtor when I was looking, and just it was great. I got lucky. I did good on my first realtor that I found, and she was very nice and understanding. And I just kind of did it in my own time, and just did it on my own, and it felt like a growth. And so then I kind of used that to kind of say, you know what, I can do this on my own. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I don't mean on my own without a realtor, but just on my own. Like, I found a house for myself, and went in, and I got it because it was the right time. And then I was happy because I was inspired because something told me to go do it then and there. And after I did it, maybe a year or two later, interest rates went through the roof, and I was like, man, I'm glad I did that then. And it just let me know that, hey, when you have that um, voice in the back of your head, just go ahead and start working on it, get it done, and start working on it. And ever since then, I have been thinking like, okay, well, if I need to do something, I'm just gonna go do it, and I'm not gonna think twice about it. And it may seem like it's a difficult situation, but you end up overcoming it, and being better for it. And now I'm happy, I have a house, and I'm able to um you know grow from there. Like, now that I know that I can get at home, I'm ready to get another one. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's work on the next move. So that would definitely a really really good example for me as far as I'm concerned. um so with that being said, I just want everybody to kind of look inside yourselves for um self growth, getting out of your comfort zone, being the best version of yourself. If you can do it, you should do it. You know. My name is Al Williams. This is the All We All Invest podcast, where you can invest money all day, but every day you actually invest your mind, you invest in your body, and you invest in your spirit in something. Seriously, in like actually something. Um, if you want more motivational breakdowns, you can find me on Willpower to Live on my IG. What I'm doing there is I'm just giving motivation, real quick daily, and just showing love to my people that are struggling in whatever struggle they may be in. I struggle too still, even though I feel like I've overcome so many different struggles, so many different things I've overcome, and I'm actually I'm still working on it, but please do check me out also on TikTok at Willpower to Live, on IG at Willpower to Live, and Facebook at Willpower to Live. We are going to grow this channel and make sure that we give motivation and inspiration wherever it may be needed. And with that being said, I'll check you guys out next time. Have a great rest of your day.